All right, I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I am live. Let me just make sure that I can see myself over here and it did indeed go live. Make sure you can hear me as well before we get started. Awesome, 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 awesome. Hello, 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 and good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Quisha Umemba, the public healthpreneur. I am super excited that you're joining me for session 2 of how to build a multi six-figure consulting business. I'm excited to get into the content tonight. If you don't know who I am, I teach helping professionals how to leverage their education and expertise, monetize their skill set, package their genius, and start, grow, and scale profitable public health consulting business, just like I have done. My business is 4 years old now. That's Umemba Health. If you'd like to find out more about us, visit us at umembahealth.com. All right, we got some juicy goodies to get into tonight. If you did miss our first session, which was a couple of nights ago, I invite you to go back to watch that. We talked about really mastering your mindset or your perspective and the different types of mindsets that you need to do this work to be an entrepreneur, because it is not easy. The highs are really, really high. The lows are really, really low, but I would not trade it, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, for anything else, because I absolutely love the freedom and flexibility that it gives me. As a matter of fact, I'm off on Fridays now. I had a massage this morning and I slept probably 4 hours today. I would never be able to do those things and not feel guilty about it if I did not work for myself. But being my own boss means I can work in my pajamas. I can work when I want to. And even if I do work weekends, which sometimes I tend to do, which I probably will do this weekend to finish up on some client deliverables, it doesn't feel like work because it's mine and I love it and I own it. And so if you are a fellow public health enthusiast, I want you to really take heed to some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you and some of the strategies and just kind of really lessons learned that I've developed over time, that has gotten me to this point, because it is a secret sauce I'm teaching you all. And so each of the 6 steps in these 6-week series, or not 6 weeks, but the 6-session series, comes from my kind of proprietary system called Ready.Start.Launch. And again, it's designed to help you start, grow, and scale a public health consultancy. So let's get into it. I got some notes. Let me pull them up and put them here on my screen. I don't want those. Where are you? Because I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. All right, so I'm not going to do a recap. If you want to see the video from the first session, then go ahead and watch that video. It was some really good information and some good gems. I also share resources. I'm going to share a resource with you again tonight. All of the resources that I'm going to share with you, you have to get into the group to access them. So if you're not in my Facebook group, join Public Healthpreneurs. Make Impact and Income. That is the name of the Facebook group, but you should be able to find it by searching for public health consulting to get inside of it. A couple of days ago, I shared 31 affirmations for public health consultants. Affirmations were huge for me when I was trying to develop that mindset, in addition to reading certain books and listening to certain podcasts and really just changing my environment. And coaching, of course, getting the right business coach also helps you to change your mindset. Awesome. And so tonight I'm going to be sharing a resource with you, but I'll wait until we get to that part of the conversation before we get there. All right, so let's talk about positioning. Let me get my notes. All right, let's talk about positioning in public health consulting and public health entrepreneurship in general. All right, so what is positioning? First and foremost, positioning is strategically staking your claim in your industry. It is how you are showing up, how your business shows up, and what people really think about your business when they see you or hear from you. It's how you are perceived to the outside world. And if this was a sermon, the title of the sermon would be Get in Position. So the hashtag for this talk is definitely going to be Get in Position. All right, so again, I talked about perspective and those certain mindsets that you needed to master in order to be a successful, especially 6-figure CEO. And tonight I'm going to talk about how you should let your light shine. And honestly, how you need to be making your light shine in a lot of cases, right? And you really want to start establishing yourself as a thought leader. So let's talk about this. All right, I'm going to give you a 3-step process, but a couple of those steps have quite a few things involved. And then the first step is in order for you to position yourself in your market, position yourself as an authority in your area of expertise or in public health, you have to identify your market or industry, And you have to identify your target audience. And so I know when I am working with clients and even in the groups, individuals that are in the group, it's, we feel as helping professionals, and I try not to talk with my hands too much because I noticed on the last video, I was like, Quisha, you use your hands too much. So I'm going to try not to do that. But I do talk with my hands. One thing I will say about helping professionals, nurses, public health, community health workers, social workers, etc. Um, we feel like we can help everybody. We feel like we can save everybody. When I first started my business, I was not trying to niche down because I knew that everybody needed what I had to offer. And any business guru or any business book or business blog that you read will tell you you cannot be successful serving everybody. And I think I even talked about everybody is not your client. Every project is not your project. You really need to niche down. I mean, that cliche saying, the riches are in the niches. That is so very true, because when I niche down and focus on who I was serving, that's really when my marketing got better, my branding got better, my messaging got better, and my bottom line got better as well. So you need to identify your audience by first identifying yourself if you're in public health, because that's a lot of times what we tend to do. For me, I knew I had a certain skill set, expertise, education, and work experience. And all of that came from the medical, clinical, and public health background. So therefore, I knew I wanted to serve clients that resonated with the backgrounds that I came from. Now, my target market or my target industry is public health organizations and healthcare systems. And, that could be some nonprofit organizations or foundations that work in the realm of public health as well. But ultimately, it's public health organizations, healthcare systems. I've got a couple of corporate clients as well, but those are not my primary clients. Now, your target market or your target industry is sometimes going to be different from your target audience. My target audience for my public health consultancy are public health professionals, right? And what I mean by that is, even though my services, and we provide workforce development, are geared toward the individual at the health department or the individual that works at the clinic, they're not the ones that pay me most of the time. We're B2G, business to government, B2B, business to business, and I have some business to consumer services as well, mostly courses. But my target market, my target industry, the person that pays me, that writes the check, that signs the contract, that's a public health department. That's a healthcare system. That's a hospital. That's a clinic. That's a nonprofit. That's a foundation. So you really need to think about, okay, who's your target market? Who's that work? Stake a claim in that industry, and then also drill down to who your target audience is as well. And just remember that it's not always going to be the same person that you're providing the services to that's going to pay you. This is why that's important. Your messaging has to resonate with who's going to pay you, but also who you're going to attract to your services. Most of the time, my messaging is for both. I want individuals that work in health department to go to their manager and say, "Hey, we want to take this course at Umemba Health Academy." But we also do a lot of posts and webinars for organizations. Case in point, a webinar that we just had on influential communication was intended for organizations, even though we had some individuals, professionals that came. And what did I say in my upsell at the end? If you love this workshop, tell your supervisor, tell your manager. We love to come to your organization and provide these services to your staff. So that's what I mean by knowing the difference and identifying those individuals. After you identify your target market, your target audience, then you want to understand them, their needs, their likes, their dislikes, their wants, their challenges, their struggles, their pain points. Only when you can understand and identify those things are you able to then develop solutions. And the solutions that you developed, this is leading into the second point that I want to bring to you tonight, is when you start to build your platform, okay? First, we talk about identifying your target market, your industry, and your audience. Secondly, you want to start building your platform. And what do I say? What do I mean when I say build your platform? Who are you and what do you stand for? What is the thing that people are going to know you and recognize your business for? So my platform is public health consulting, and public health entrepreneurship. And in my full-time in my day job, which is what I refer to as my public health consultancy, Umemba Health, our platform is public health workforce development, where we transform public health through comprehensive workforce development, right? Now, there's a lot of different skills and topics, leadership development, soft skills, SDOH, other types of things that fall under that umbrella. But at the end of the day, it's all workforce development. Now, my side hustle, which is what I call what I'm doing now with Quisha Umemba Consulting, where I serve as a public health coach and mentor, is my platform is public health entrepreneurship, and the basis that you can make impact and income, right? So that's what I mean by what do people know you for? If you go back and look at my Instagram, even before I started coaching people on how to start, grow, and scale public health consulting businesses, I've said for the last 3 years about I'm doing this. I've become an entrepreneur. I'm a public health consultant because I wanted to make impact and income. And only just recently I've changed it a little bit to say purpose-driven, profit-focused, but it all means the exact same thing. So what is going to be your platform? So this is the issue that I find with most just kind of aspiring consultants, newbies, people that are really trying to get themselves out there. One, you don't feel like you're an expert. Okay, you're scared to get out there. You're scared to establish a platform. I had some notes. I lost them. I'm just going to go off the top of my head now. You're scared to establish a platform because you don't feel like you're an expert at what you do. And you don't have to know everything about a particular topic to be an expert, contrary to what you may think. Being an expert just means you have authoritative knowledge in a particular topic. And this is an expert. If you go and provide a training, or if you're in a room with a group of people and the knowledge level of the people in that room is here and what you know is here, you are the expert in that room. And so you have to start owning, again, I talked about this a couple of nights ago, owning what you know and owning what you don't know, and knowing that what you don't know with Google and YouTube and Chat GPT, you can learn it and teach yourself, within an hour. In most cases, it just depends. Depends on, we're not going to get into it, but it just depends. And so don't think you have to know everything about a particular certain topic to consider yourself to be an expert. If you've been working in the health department and you've been working in like, maybe you're working in infectious disease, and maybe you are doing surveillance, whatever it is, if you've been doing it for some matter of time, especially if you're a supervisor or manager, you can train others, you are an expert in it. And so you can own that expertise. Anything you did in your 9 to 5, you can own that expertise as experience that you have when you start your public health consulting business. Okay. All right. What else do I have here? What else do I have? What else do I have here? Oh, this is really important. This is really important when it comes to building your platform. You got to identify, or create rather, your unique value proposition. Now, inside the group, I've got a couple of trainings that I've provided on unique value propositions. It always is very helpful. A unique value proposition basically is how you present to the world, right? And it is usually a written or a verbal statement on who you are, who you serve, how you serve, and why you serve. And what I have found working with most individuals is they cannot nail that down. It is so very hard for them to do. As a matter of fact, I hope she does not I hope if she's watching, she doesn't take offense, but I had a consultation with someone a few days ago, and I kept saying, well, what kind of consultant are you? And she would say, well, I do strategic planning, and I do this, and I do that. And I said, okay, well, what kind of consultant are you? And she just couldn't nail down the type of, can you even answer that question? What type of consultant are you? Okay. If you ask me what type of consultant I am, I'm going to say within the confines of my public health consultancy, I'm a workforce development. I'm training and learning development consultant. That's my specialty. That's my expertise. That is my jam. That is what I do. Do I feel like I can do a whole bunch of other things and I'm well versed in a whole bunch of other things and I have skill sets in other things? Absolutely. But when you drill down to the core of who I am and what I do, that is who I am. Let me give you an example of a unique value proposition. The UVP for my public health consultancy, Umemba Health, is Umemba Health helps public health organizations and healthcare systems to educate their frontline workforce, empower their leadership, and expand their community presence to elevate the lives and individuals of the communities they serve. That's who we are. That's how we help. That's who we help, and that's why we help. And at the beginning of the video, I gave you my UVP, unique value proposition, for Quisha Umemba Consulting, my side hustle. Remember, I said I'm Quisha Umemba, the public healthpreneur. I teach helping professionals how to leverage their education and expertise, how to monetize their skill set, how to package their genius to start, grow, and scale a profitable public health consulting business. That's everything you need to know about me: who I am, who I serve, how I serve, and why I do it. And so if you can get really, really laser focused is what I'm trying to say, on those things, that's going to help you position yourself better in the market. You know what you're going to say when you go to networking events. You know what you're going to put on your website. You know what you're going to put on all of your marketing materials, right? You know how you're going to advertise. You know the clients that you're going to go after. Excuse me, voice is actually doing better tonight though. You know the clients that you're going to go after. That is instrumental. There are projects that come my way all the time, and it's really not what we focus on. It's really not. It doesn't fall within the confines of our wheelhouse. It doesn't match up with our UVP. That's how you position yourself. And so, like I said, I'm always sharing resources. I've got a free resource that I'm going to share in the group later tonight. So if you're in the group and you're watching, I will, as soon as I get off the call, I will post it. I have created example UVPs for a variety of positions in public health that might be helpful for you. There's also a video there as well. I think I actually just reshared it a couple of days ago. That's been very helpful. Even if you have a UVP, someone said just looking at that video again helps them really get crystal clear and laser focused on exactly who they are, what they do, how they serve, and why they serve. Okay. So that is the second one. That is your platform, building out your platform. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, creating that unique value proposition and owning it. And speaking of owning it, the last thing that you need to do when it comes to positioning yourself as a public health consultant, as a public health entrepreneur, and taking up space proudly, confidently, is claiming your expertise, building that platform, but sharing it. Okay. You can't establish yourself as a thought leader or as an expert in any particular topic if you don't share your expertise. Nobody wants to be a best kept secret. As a matter of fact, I was on a podcast last week, I think, and the host, Dr. V, said that nobody wants to be a best kept secret. And here's the truth: a lot of y'all are best kept secrets. You're like the smartest, most creative, innovative person in the office. You always get your projects in early. Everybody wants you to be on their team and on their projects. Your boss knows you run that show. You run that place, right? Your coworkers you're the go-to when it comes to your coworkers, your peers. Everybody comes to you for everything. Everybody knows you're the expert, but you. But you're a best kept secret. And as long as people realize that and you cannot own it, you will stay where you are. But if you want to be a consultant, if you want to be a public healthpreneur, right, and have that freedom and flexibility and be able to scale your business to multi six figures, you got to be able to own that as well. You cannot be a best kept secret. You got to put yourself out there if you want to be able to find potential clients. So whatever you're selling, sell it. Right. That's another thing. I even struggle with that as well. And I don't struggle with the thought of selling. I don't think selling is sleazy. Selling for me is service, right? I'm at the point now that I feel like if I offer you a course or a workshop or curriculum or whatever it is, I am doing you a favor. Like I know this is so good. I want you to have it. I really, really want you to take me up on it. And if you don't take me up on it, okay, the next person will. It's unfortunate. I hate it for you. The next person will. And in my public health consultancy, I have been passed up by organizations. I have lost RFPs. And then full circle, the next year, you know what? We want to revisit this, right? Even RFP opportunities I've lost, I've still got referrals from those. I have a client right now that's about to wrap up that came from an RFP that we lost. But because they knew about our work, they knew about what we did, they knew about our expertise, they recommended the individual that did win the RFP to subcontract with them to do particular work. So you really have to stake claim, stake your expertise, put yourself out there, believe in yourself, and do whatever it takes to be more visible. If you don't like social media, guess what? You better. And let me say this. because I talked to several public health consultants in the last few weeks, and not everybody is on social media, right? Not everybody is social. I hate social media, believe it or not. If it was not for my business and what I'm trying to accomplish with my business, I would not be on social media. There are lots of consultants that are not on social media that have been able to still make a decent income and do their job. They've worked with referrals. Word of mouth is still the best form of referrals, the best way to get clients. Okay. So don't make it seem like that's the only way you can get clients. But if you're trying to scale your business, especially the multi six figures, you will have to be more vocal. You will have to be um, more visible. You will have to utilize social media. You will have to do those things. We live in a society where social credibility it means everything. I mean, think about it. If you are new to my community, the first thing you did when you heard about me is you went to my website, you went to my social medias, right? When businesses are wondering whether or not they want us to do training for them, they're going to go to our website, they're going to go to our Google reviews. When you want to decide where you want to eat at a restaurant, if you're on vacation around the town or whatever, what are you going to do? You're going to go to Yelp reviews. Social credibility is instrumental to you building a reputable business because people have to know, like, and trust you. Maybe 5 or 10% of all of your clients or anybody that does business with you will meet or hear about your services for the first time, take you up on the offer, and spend money with you. That is not always the case. About 90% of individuals, they will follow you for a while. They will be in your groups. They will hang around. And I'm talking about individuals here, not necessarily organizations. It's different. I've had people that have been in my community for 2 years before they will spend $1. As a matter of fact, my training director at Umemba Health followed me for a couple of years before she spent $1. And we kind of joke about it, right? Because you have to build up that credibility and that reputation before people feel comfortable to do that. You have to do things like I'm doing right now so that people can understand that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and they feel comfortable to be able to do that business with you. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to market your expertise. And that is why I started session number 1 with mindset, with the perspective, because you have to learn strategies and tips and tricks and tools to be able to get over things like fear, to get over imposter syndrome, to get over perfectionism, to get over stagnation, to get over self-doubt, to get over worrying about what everybody else thinking. That's really where I got to be. I had to get to where I'm like, I don't care what anybody else is thinking or saying or doing. This is my lane over here. Nobody can beat me in my lane, and I'm going to ride this thing out in my lane. And so you have got to get to that point as well. Get a sip of water. All right, I want to try to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. Okay. Something else that I want to talk to you about when it comes to positioning your business, give your gift away. Give your gift away when you are first getting started. There are a lot of gurus and a lot of people out there that will tell you, oh, don't do anything for free. In the beginning, yes, you will. Because you're a best kept secret, right? Nobody knows anything about you. So you have got to showcase your communication skills, right? You've got to showcase your whatever your specialty is. You've got to be able to share that. So in the beginning, just expect you're going to have to give your gifts away, whether that be a workshop, webinar, lead magnet, whether it be a free course like we do, whether it be, we just a couple of days get a free workshop. Whatever that is, expect to do that again because it gives you time to develop your message, your services, and establish a strong footing in the industry. That's how you start to get your clients. Now, once you start getting clients and reviews and testimonials and all of those things, then absolutely, you don't do anything free unless it's strategic, right? And that's a whole nother conversation. But in the beginning, expect to do that. Something else that just popped into my head that I see happen a lot, and it's why you're not able to get the footing in this industry. So many of you all, and I follow you all, I keep my comments to myself, but so many of you all are switching your niche every 6 months. You're not staying consistent with what you're trying to do because you're still trying to figure it out. It's very evident you're not working with a coach. It's very evident you're jumping on the latest trends and you are losing credibility. You're not seen as reputable, and that is going to be a detriment to ultimately your bottom line and definitely to your brand. So be patient. Be patient. It takes time. My business is 4 years old. I've been doing consulting for a couple of years, but I'm just now going into this third year where I'm really scaling this in the fashion that I'm scaling it now, right? Because I'm the 90-day implementation girl. I have to pilot everything. I have to test everything. I want to get feedback. I want to get reviews. I want to know what works and what doesn't and what people like and what they don't like. And so you won't see me jumping on a whole bunch of trends, because when you jump on the trend after 6 months, you could have been 1 month away from getting a 5-figure contract. But you stopped what you were doing because you jumped on this trend over here, or you changed it because you weren't getting any money. I didn't make any money in my business till 5 months. And I remember I told my husband, I said, if I don't make any money in 6 months, I'm going to have to pivot. Well, COVID came along at month 5 and pivoted for me. And in month 6, I actually made money. And it was from a workshop that I did. Again, I did that workshop. It was a workforce development for community health workers. I have not changed since then. So we're talking about 3.5 years. I have not pivoted. Has the mission changed? Vision, values, different things? Yes, that type of stuff as your business grows and matures. But I have not pivoted, right? I found what works. I was patient. I built up my supporters, my fan base. Oh, come on, boys. And I am reaping the rewards and the benefits of it now. Okay, so let me give you some ideas. Okay, so if you're thinking about, how can I position myself? What are some things that I should be doing? Pick your social media platform. You don't have to do all of them. I do all of them except for Twitter. What's that new thing Instagram has? I don't do that. I don't do TikTok either. Lord knows. I've done TikTok twice and I was on there 3 hours each time. Somebody has to send me a video, like text it to me. I just don't do TikTok. Not that for me and my business, which is primarily B2B and B2G, it doesn't make the best sense for me. Maybe for the coaching I could, but the return on investment, I don't have the time to invest in it right now. But find the platform that works for you. And I actually do love YouTube, which is why I'm going to be investing more time in YouTube or on YouTube over the next months. And stick with it. Learn it, post, share. LinkedIn is instrumental for what we're doing with public health consulting and really getting your thought leadership out there. Write a blog. So I just started blog writing. You start a podcast. I did a podcast in my first year. Absolutely loved it. Didn't know how to monetize it. It took up too much time, so I stopped doing it. May do it again. But I absolutely love it. That's one way you can do it. I love to present at conferences. That's probably my number one way. And you're looking at someone that had a severe public speaking anxiety, right? Actually, I was talking to my neurologist a couple of days ago because I had to go get a checkup. And we were talking and he said, well, have you ever been anxious about anything? And I said, yeah, public speaking. And he said, but you're flying every month public speaking. And I said, yeah, I did it so much to now I don't get anxious. And he said, oh, that was exposure therapy. Absolutely. Exposure therapy. So that's my favorite way to market. Every time I go speak at a conference, every single time I go speak at a conference, I get a contract out of it. So I absolutely love doing that. As a matter of fact, I love just doing this. This is why I struggle with a 1 minute or 2 minute reel. Because I much rather do a 45, 60-minute workshop than do a 1 or 2 minute reel. And hosting webinars and workshops, again, that's probably second favorite, if not tied with first favorite. Let me tell y'all, for you all that are in a position where you're trying to get organizational clients, you need to host a webinar. You need to host a workshop. A lot of you are not sure about it. You're kind of not confident. You need to host the workshops and webinars. It's going to help you to get more people on your email list. It's going to help you to get your business out there. And it's going to help you develop the confidence you need and the experience, right? It's that exposure therapy I just mentioned. It's going to give you the experience to continue to do it and continue to get better. I'm using notes barely, as you can tell, like I'm really looking at the camera screen here, but it's because I do this all of the time that I'm able to get more comfortable in doing it. And people can tell if you're comfortable and authentic, or if you're just putting on or reading from the notes or reading from the script. Okay. All right. So let me wrap up. Those were all of my tips tonight. We're at the 31-minute mark. We talked about, just to summarize, positioning yourself in public health consulting, building your brand as a thought leader so that you can position your business in the market, and developing your unique value proposition, which is so super important for you. Again, I have created a document with sample UVPs, unique value propositions for public health consultants. I'm going to drop that in our Facebook group, Public Healthpreneurs. Go ahead and join the group if you have not, and you can get access to that resource. All right, a few announcements before I end tonight's live streams. If you enjoyed this session, if you found it valuable, and if you haven't watched part one, Perspective, go back and watch part one, Perspective. If you would like to see the next series, it's going to be next Wednesday, the 25th. No, next Thursday. Then join me, because I'm going to be talking about pricing. Talk about monetize your skill set. You don't know how much to charge. You don't know where to start. You don't know how to factor it. I'm going to help you with all of that. I've got a great resource for you as well next week also. So go ahead and click the bell notification so you can join me for next week's session as well. Hey, if you want to know how to start your public health consulting business, download the Public Health Consultant Starter Kit. It's on my website, QuishaUmemba.com. It's absolutely free. It's about 44 pages. I've got really great reviews. Somebody said, you really should charge for this. And it's absolutely free. Download it. I promise you it's going to be so super helpful for you. What else? Possibilities in public health consulting. How to go from public health expert to public health entrepreneur. I'm hosting that webinar February the 7th. It is a Wednesday night. If you have not signed up, go to the website, sign up. I think I've got about 100 seats left. I'm opening it up to 300 people. There's still time, plenty of time. Get on there. Going to be some great information. I'll share more about my journey. I'll share more about my earning potential, and just some challenges and things you should be aware of as you get into this space. Public Healthpreneur Academy is starting soon. Super, super, super excited about that. I tried to figure out a way that I could scale and still being able to help as many people as possible and not go crazy trying to run both businesses. And so the membership is going to be the best way for me to do that. I'm thinking we're going to be ready to launch sooner than possible or sooner than expected. So go ahead and sign up for the waiting list so you can be first to know. I'm actually probably going to hold a challenge or a contest to let a few people in early, because I need to figure out kind of the bugs and different things like that. So if you're in the group, you'll be the first to know about that as well. Kim says, thank you, Quisha. You're setting the bar in the industry and providing inspiration to us all. Thank you, Kim. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad that you're finding this helpful and valuable. Hey, if you're not following me on all social media channels, follow me at Quisha Umemba. And if you'd like to get started, schedule a discovery session, QuishaUmemba.com. Just book a call, and I'd love to talk to you and help you figure out how to start, grow, or scale your public health consulting business. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video training. Take care.